Now, Donald Glover is a really talented dude. For those of you that don't know, he also raps by his rap name is Childish Gambino, which he created actually by using an online Wu-Tang name generator. Like, he was at a party with some friends. They were using this name generator thing, Wu-Tang Clan name generator, and it gave him Childish Gambino, and he just fucked around with that name, and he used to make music and rap and like freestyle and shit like that, and he became known and good at it. He's clearly a writer and an actor, and he's also done stand-up. He had a stand-up special that I saw a long time ago, and I believe it's actually on Netflix also, and it was really good. It wasn't great, I wouldn't say, but it was good. It was funny. I liked it. I enjoyed it, and I would like, if he had another special, I would definitely watch it. So he's a multifaceted, like, funny, talented dude. He's like what I think people thought Kanye was, but for the for real version. Kanye's a nut job who does okay. He does good music, but I've seen like a bunch of interviews with Childish Gambino, and he's a smart dude. Comes off to me as a really smart dude, and clearly talented. And he has this new music video, which I'll link to in the episode notes. Check it out. It's called "This Is America," and it was just so good. And it also became like a viral topic of conversation online, and a lot of people trying to like break it down and break down not just the lyrics, but just the video, the visuals in it, the messages. And I got a bunch from it. First and foremost, something that stood out was like the chords being played in the guitar in the beginning with the guy that grabs the guitar, and it reminded me of the main song from the movie Boyhood, which was like a coming of age movie. And I don't know, it kind of like went with the theme of, this is America, and America is like coming of age and like growing through its issues. And this video was clearly dedicated towards the issue specific to like gun violence in America. And I don't know, Boyhood, those like chords that remind, maybe it's not from the movie Boyhood, maybe it's not like the same exact like chords and shit. My musical ear my hearing palette isn't sophisticated enough to be able to distinguish it, but that's what it reminded me of. So that's what it made me think of. And I related that to America being as a country and its adolescence, and growing up and doing wild shit, like all the gun violence that we have going on in the country, and our collective discernment towards it, our demeanor towards it. There's a lot of people that say, I don't know if there's a lot of people, but I've heard people say that there's a lot of people that say. So maybe it's just that person that said that made it up and nobody else has said this, but it kind of made sense to me that in the video, Donald Glover, or Childish Gambino rather, was the distraction. Like, he was like trying to distract with the like weird way he was dancing and without having a shirt off. And what you're supposed to like pay attention to is like everything going on in the background. And I've watched the video a couple times, and when you do that, you do notice like different things going on in the background that you weren't really paying attention to like the first time around, or at least you didn't like catch all of it. And one thing namely was a white horse which gallops through the background, which according to Charlemagne the God is from a book that he read. I forgot the name of the book. I didn't like write it down or anything. And that horse is supposed to like symbolize, a white horse is supposed to symbolize plague, or at least it did in that book. So he thinks that it's a reference to that. There was, like, to me, like when the camera like scanned like towards the top, like people hanging out like in the railings and stuff like that. It kind of looked like a scene from Oz, like the show Oz, or like prison shows that have, like multiple tiers where like inmates like hang on the railings and just sit down and like look down on other inmates. It's kind of like a dingy kind of warehouse looking place. If you notice, with all the like gun violence and shit like that going on, like he shoots somebody in close blank range, like the guy that's playing that Boyhood guitar riff in the beginning. He's like dancing in like this weird way again, and then out of nowhere pulls out a gun and shoots him. And if you notice, like the bodies are just like dragged away. They're like dragged off. They're like treated like nothing. And then the guns, like somebody comes to like grab the guns from him, but he carefully places them in a like cloth and like folds them, and they take it away. And same thing happens with like an AK-47 when there's this choir singing and dancing and happy, and then he comes into the room and he's doing the same, and then he pulls out this AK-47, shoots them all, kills them. And the AK-47, they pick it up the same way, and the bodies are just like there, like thrown there. And that symbolizes how we care more for guns than the bodies. Like we're putting guns up on a pedestal and protecting them so much, but not protecting the people that are losing their lives to the gun violence, and how we disregard them and care for and show care for the guns. So I thought that was interesting. Something that I got from it, which I didn't like hear or like read anywhere else, that, and I don't say that to say like I came up with this idea. I'm sure like other people have thought this, but just that there's a point like mid song where he, like the music like chills down. He's like pointing like with his hand, like in the shape of a gun, but he gets like really pensive, and then he reaches into his pocket, pulls out a joint, and then walks off frame, and starts like smoking the joint as he walks away. Then the scene right after that, he like gets on top of a car and starts dancing like James Brown, and even breaks out into like a bit of a James Brown riff. I took that as, instead of him deciding to pull out another gun and shooting someone else, he smoked some weed, chilled out, relaxed, and started dancing. And instead of shooting someone. So it's kind of like a nod towards legalizing weed, and how it could be like a component to easing up gun violence, like the legalizing of marijuana, and gun violence being in part prolific because of the drug trade, and like who wants to shoot people when they're high type of thing, you know what I mean? It was a dope song, man. It's a cool video, and I recommend you folks check it out.